A year ago this month, a Knox County teenager had a serious injury with her horse right in her own backyard. Isabel Burchett spent weeks in the hospital battling back from that injury, but now she's back in the saddle again and sharing the story of her incredible Cowgirl comeback.
There's nothing like the bond between a girl and her horse.
Hi, buddy.
It's a bond that's not easily broken.
You're a little bit taller than I am.
But this bond has certainly been strained.
Knox County 911, where is your emergency?
Last August, Isabel Burchett was in the field rounding up her horse Albert to head to a show and was on the phone with her mom Kelly. But Albert had other plans.
I heard her say he pulled and broke a fence, and then I heard some hysterical screaming that I will probably hear for the rest of my life.
Breathe. Slow, baby. Just breathe. Okay. Okay, I'm here, baby. I'm here, baby.
Kelly rushed outside to find her teenage daughter on the ground, broken and bleeding. Nearby, Albert stood calmly, still tied to that broken fence post.
There were a few times when she was laying on the ground, we're waiting on the ambulance. She said, "I think I'm going to die." I said, "No, you're not going to do that. I mean, not today."
Isabel was rushed to Children's Hospital.
I really thought I was just going to be there for maybe like 2 or 3 hours. They'd be like, oh, you have a broken rib. You can go home. You're fine. Just don't do this. Don't do that.
But what really happened?
I was there for 16 days.
Isabel had a broken wrist, 5 broken ribs, and a lacerated spleen. And what would become most troublesome, a bruised pancreas.
Any parent does not want their kid to hurt in any way, and I would rather that happen to me 10 times before it ever even came close to happening to her.
The days in the hospital would drag on with lots of visitors and plenty of support, but it wasn't easy.
It was really mentally draining. I did not like it at all. All I wanted to do was go home.
After more than 2 weeks, she did finally go home, with her dad, Congressman Tim Burchett, sharing that special moment on social media. And what did she do the moment she got home? She reunited with her horse, of course.
I just knew it wasn't his fault. I knew he didn't mean to hurt me. I know he didn't know exactly what he did. He had no clue what happened.
But that sweet reunion was short-lived. A month later, Isabel was back in the hospital to repair her pancreas, and she says the recovery from that was the worst she'd felt. At first, she could barely get out of bed, but she worked hard to regain her strength. And just months later, last December, she was back in the saddle again.
Kind of nerve-wracking, but also relieving at the same time. Like, being around a horse after that happened was kind of terrifying for a few months, but I mean, this is my passion, so I just had to get over it.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
And get over it she did. Isabel and Albert took their now-tested bond to the world stage for the National Barrel Horse Association Youth and Teen World Championships.
Here comes Isabel Burchett on board Sticky Red Gin.
This was her final run, where she and Albert put everything on the line. And 1 year after he put her in the hospital, Albert carried his girl to victory.
16-5, 56 and round.
Honestly, I cried for like 20 minutes because I just was really happy that I made it on that horse out of any of them.
That horse that put her through so much raced his way to redemption. Isabel is now an NBHA Teen Division 5D World Champion.
It was just honestly surreal. I really didn't believe it.
I want to say I would have never thought that in my wildest dreams, but that's the stuff dreams are made of, I think.
Oh, it's one of those days, okay.
By the way, Isabel says she's fully recovered now. No more pain. She's ready to race, and she's especially hoping to win again at next year's Teen World Championships. But what an incredible comeback for her.
That's amazing. What a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, thanks to them for both being willing to you know, invite me over, and David, our photojournalist, as well, and to share that story, because there were some tense moments there, I'm sure, after that.
I can imagine. Not only back in the saddle, but ready to win again.
That's
Not just
right.
race again, ready to win again. I love that attitude.
And congratulations, she's got her big belt buckle to show for it, too.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.